Hey, what's up, Roxstars? It's Rox with a little bit of talk about what's at the top of the blog. So let's get to it. I say I'm gonna take some time off, y'all. All the cashiers, they was like, somebody stole her truck. It was like you could hear it all throughout the store. This Rox coming to you today with a review for Love and Marriage Detroit, Love and Marriage Huntsville, our book 4, Real Housewives of Atlanta. Let's get to it, shall we? You guys, first story up, child. This story was quite troubling. I know that Jay Lee from Jay Lee's Corner, I know that she's covering this story as well, or she has already, because this happened in her hometown of Detroit, Michigan. But you guys also asked me to talk about it, so you know I'm gonna give you the basics of the story. But if you need that in-depth thing, y'all make sure y'all go check out Jay Lee's Corner, okay? But yeah, we talking about the woman, 34-year-old mother who left her 3 kids in this house out there in Detroit. Well, it's in Pontiac, which they say is a suburb, I guess, of Detroit. But this woman had been leaving her 3 kids, 15-year-old son, a 13-year-old, and a 12-year-old daughter in this house by themselves since sometime around 2021. And they said maybe it could even be 2020. The kids couldn't remember exactly when all this happened. But apparently this woman has been leaving her kids in this house by themselves, unsupervised, unattended to, untaken care of. They've been trying to figure it out for themselves for these 4-5 years by themselves. And do you know they ain't had no electricity? They ain't had no running water. You can just imagine. Okay, these kids don't know what to do other than to survive. They in this house. They said that the only time that they would talk to the mother is when they would text her to tell them they needed something to eat. And I guess she would bring something over there. But did she even go in the house and see it? Because when you guys see the house, it's just like any squatter or any house that you see where people are like pack rats. And it's just shit everywhere. And I mean that literally as well. There was no running water. These kids had to use the bathroom somewhere. So you can just imagine 4 or 5 years of them using the bathroom in this house. Food boxes. They said that the kids were sleeping on top of pizza boxes because they ain't really had no clear space to be anywhere. But I'm even more concerned about the fact that these kids been staying in this place in Detroit, Michigan, where Jay Lee been complaining about the fucking snow every day. I know it's got to be cold as shit out there, and you got these kids just in this house by them. It's just craziness to me. Now, the reason why this finally was caught was because the landlord of the place, it looked like it was a townhome or a condo, but it was an attached, you know, it wasn't a single dwelling. But they said that I just lost my train of thought. What was I saying? Oh, the landlord said that they weren't receiving any more rent. She hadn't paid rent since October. And so finally the landlord, I guess, had called the police. I guess they were going to thinking that maybe the house had been abandoned. They were going to empty it out and, you know, try to get it re-rented or whatever. But when they got up in there, that's when they realized the kids were there. They said the kids were hiding. But you know, they finally found the kids and all. They said that their toenails were so long that they could barely walk. You guys, my heart was like broken when I was listening to this. I just can't imagine them kids being in there. If this been about 5 years that them kids been in there by themselves, that 15-year-old kid was 10. The 12 and the 13-year-olds, they was only 6 and 7. And you know, what does a 10-year-old know what to do to take care of? So she left right at the time where these kids were being like, those are the times that you really are trying to form your child, right? These are the forming years. And them kids been in there by themselves. They don't know probably nothing. They don't know nothing. They said that when they finally got the kids out of there and took them, that the kids was having a hard time like brushing their teeth and even using the toilet because they couldn't remember back when they, were. And, there's a lot of things that happen to you mentally. You decline when you don't have any kind of outside interaction with anybody else. You just in this house, you in these four walls, and that's it. So these kids, some people would be like, but even at 7 and 8, you need to go to the bathroom, all this. First of all, they had no running water. Secondly, like I said, there's a decline mentally when you have such trauma like this in your life. The mental decline also affects things. So these kids are not just regular 15, 13, and 12-year-old kids. Okay, so very, very, very sad. Now, I was thinking about this whole thing, and I was like, definitely the school district needs to be in trouble, because the schools are supposed to be the first ones to notice if these kids are not in school. Now, I know that the kids that all this kind of started right around when pandemic happened, which means that everybody was staying home. So probably the schools may have lost track of these kids because, everybody was home for so long. And then when the kids started coming back, some kids didn't, some continued to do homeschooling and all that. And so, maybe that's how the school dropped the ball on it. But yeah, the school definitely, it needs to be, because the school is the only one else. Nobody would know that these kids are missing if these kids are not showing up at school, unless the school is reporting that these kids are not showing up at school. Okay. So there was it was the mother. Absolutely. She's at the top of the list, but there are actually a lot of other people that failed these kids as well. The landlord didn't even know kids lived there. He just thought it was just the woman. So the landlord said he was shocked when he knew, that the lady even had kids. They haven't released her name. At least they hadn't when I was looking up the story. But yeah, they did arrest her on Valentine's Day. They took her to the Oakland County Jail, and she's there until she's absolutely going to do some jail time. Also absolutely losing those kids. Those kids are gone. She already lost them. It's clear she didn't want them to begin with. Okay. And, yeah, very, very sad. I just hope, that it wasn't too late, that they are able to get these kids, and that these kids can still have a life where, they not just suffering from trauma from like all this. Cause I can't even imagine being in no fucking freezing ass house year after year. Okay, because Detroit been cold all my life. So I'm just like, hey, you got these kids up, and I just can't even imagine. And I just don't know what person can be that heartless to do that. Even if you don't want your children anymore, why would you abandon them like that? So no warm and fuzzies, no nothing for this woman. This woman needs to go to jail. And these kids need to be in therapy. But, good to know that they did not die. But I feel like they probably been living a death for the last, these last few years that they've been in that house by themselves. So we'll see what else goes on with that story. And when we know more about it, I will let you know. Okay, next story. All right, you guys, next story is prayers up for Lavar Ball. You guys remember Lavar Ball? Lavar Ball was the man who believed so much in his three boys and their basketball talent and skills. Remember, he was telling us that he had the three boys, what is their names, child? Did I put them in my notes? LeAngelo is the newfound rapper that we have. We know about that. Lee, they all had like Lavar, LeAngelo, Lelumpta, Lelala, what is the fucking names? Oh, child, I can't remember. But he has the two sons that actually play professional basketball, and then LeAngelo, who couldn't, he didn't have a skill, and so but he did make it to All-Star game, you guys, and he was rapping. I meant to comment about him out of breath up there on that All-Star stage. I was just like, how ironic is it that you couldn't make it, in the NBA, but you still landed your ass on that court. Okay. Anyway, getting back to the daddy. Remember when he just believed so much in his boys and saying that, you know, the oldest one was going to be drafted by Lakers, and then he was, and then he said that he could beat Michelangelo. Why did that come in my mind? Michael Jordan. He was just like, yeah, he could beat Michael Jordan on 1-on-1 and all that. Yeah, you guys remember all that. Anyway, Lavar Ball apparently has been having some medical issues, and he had to have his right foot amputated. I know amputation usually happens, not always, but usually happens when you are diabetic and they are trying to keep like gangrene or some other infection from spreading, you know. So if it's in your foot, that usually happens from you stepping on something, it breaks the skin, or you cut your foot, cutting your nails, doing something. You have to be real careful with your extremities when you have diabetes, because all you need is one cut, and honey, it can swing it all the way left. And so I don't know what happened. I don't know if he's diabetic. They just said a medical issue, but I'm just giving you guys my opinion. Maybe he had diabetes, his foot had gotten infected, and in order to keep it from spreading up his leg and eventually killing him, you know, sometimes you just have to cut off the offensive part. So that was his foot. I do remember, like, back in the day when I used to see Lavar Ball, that he had like a slight limp. I haven't seen that man in years. I know he had a show on Facebook, but I don't have Facebook, so I know their family had a show on Facebook, and I know that, you know, they had their own reality show and all, but I hadn't seen him in a long time. But I do remember him kind of having some sort of slight limp, and maybe it's gotten worse, or maybe there could have just been issues with that foot. Might not have anything to do with diabetes. I don't know. But the best part of that story is that, you know, now that the foot is gone, you know, we can stop that infection or stop whatever the problem is. They say that he's in good spirits and he's in good health otherwise. Okay, so yeah, good for him, but still prayers up, you know, because that's going to be an adjustment. Okay, you guys remind me one day to tell you, first of all, I got to get clearance from Mr. But I have to tell you guys about a really bad accident that Mr. had a long time ago. I was still doing video. I was doing videos back then. But, yeah, I'll just have to tell you guys how one time he fell off of our deck. And basically, foot was completely off of his leg. But anyway, y'all, we ain't got time today. But if I get clearance from Mr. one day, maybe it'll be a story time. But yeah, y'all, fell off the deck and foot was off. Bone in the air, foot hanging. Child, it was an experience. Did I mention this to you guys before? I feel like I may have. Anyway, you guys, that's that on that. Hope you feel better soon, Mr. Ball, and let's move on to the next story. So there was a girl by the name of Christina Murray who was pregnant after undergoing in vitro fertilization a couple of years ago. The pregnancy went well, and when it was all said and done, after 9 months, 40 weeks, she delivered a healthy baby boy. And one usually is very excited about the baby that comes, except Christina, who was white. Her baby's father, you know, the embryo's father also was white. So she was expecting to have a white baby, but delivered a black baby. So when she saw the baby was black, immediately she knew that there was a problem with the fertility clinic and that they probably had inseminated her with the wrong embryo. And after doing a little research, and I do mean a little, because baby, a black baby is a black baby. And if you ain't had sex, or you didn't have it the natural way of, you know, just laying down with somebody, then you know that there was a problem somewhere. Yeah, they put the wrong embryo in this woman. And she delivered this baby. Now, she carried this baby, grew feelings for this baby, fell in love with this baby, you know, while she was pregnant. So she was like, I'm gonna keep this baby because it's my damn baby now. But, you know, she she hadn't set her life up to be having a black baby, right? But she was gonna keep the baby. Now, the clinic, which was named, the name of the clinic, hold on. The name of the clinic, just in case y'all was thinking about doing something like this, I'm going to need you to avoid this here clinic. The Coastal Fertility Specialist in Savannah, Georgia. they ended up, I guess they felt like they had a duty to let the actual family that owned that embryo, they needed to let them know that this woman had delivered their baby. So they did. So that family, of course, once they realized that their baby was out there walking around somewhere, they wanted their baby. So she didn't fight them. She gave them the baby because she knew that the baby was like 5 months. She knew that she was going to lose that case. This is just not her baby, and it's not their fault, you know. So she gave the baby up, but now, bitch, somebody got to pay for this, all right? Because where's my baby? And how can I even be sure you ain't gave none of my other embryos to somebody? Like, how did this mix-up even happen? So yes, we is suing for sure. She has a civil lawsuit that's set up with the coastal fertility specialist. And she's saying that the clinic's negligence in mixing up her embryos with the other couples caused her ongoing pain and anguish. All right. This particular clinic was in Savannah, but they also have like 4 other locations in South Carolina. And they did say that they put out a statement saying that it was an unprecedented error. I was like, you think? Baby, this is bigger than an unprecedented error. I mean, this was a full 100% mistake. You guys might have ruined this woman's life, by all of this. I mean, I won't be dramatic and say her life is ruined, but some people really want to have their baby. They really want it. The whole reason why they go to a fertility clinic is so that that you can set that shit, not that shit, but set the babies aside until you're ready. There could be a number of reasons why you're not ready, but when you are ready, you'd like to know that that's waiting there for you. Okay. And when it's not, yeah, that could be pretty unnerving, could be pretty painful and anguish filled. So I say pay the lady. Okay. And hopefully she can, get the baby when she wants. All right. Cause what is Susie supposed to do with Daquan? Come on, little Marquavius. Yeah, no. So I'll let y'all know what goes on with that if we hear more about it. But that's the one thing that scares me about these clinics. Like, how can I be 100% sure that y'all know what y'all doing? Okay? Because some people, that baby could have been in danger. You gave a black baby to some white families. They don't want to have a black baby at all. Thank God it was insemination and not this woman, doing something else. This could have came out way worse, so hopefully they get that together. And let's move on to the next story. All right, you guys, old girl that went to Pakistan and had fell in love with the 19-year-old and all that. What's her name? Ona Robinson. Okay. Child, she was out there in Pakistan, and honey, they had got to love her. They said that she almost came like a celebrity, and that the people out there was like really interested in like, oh, she gonna be here, she gonna be there. And, the family was trying to get her home and she wasn't going home. And then of course we was seeing her talking to the people. Sis was out there and she was really entertaining the people. Now, I had gotten a story that she was going back to New York City, that their family had finally gotten, or they had gotten a ticket, because at first she didn't want to come back, but they got the ticket and she was supposed to be coming back. So apparently they say that she was on a plane that was headed for New York City, but it stopped over in Dubai, and they escorted her off the plane, and now they're saying that she was arrested in Dubai. Nobody really seems to know the whereabouts of Ona Robinson right now, which is a little concerning. This is a black woman that is out in Dubai. They don't play in Dubai. Okay? Because remember, old girl, that the one that got to shouting at the waitress or the server or something? Or was she at a coffee place or something, and she got mad at the person that was taking her order and called herself getting sassy and saying something? Honey, they threw her ass in jail. And she was in jail for some months. Remember? They was like, you ain't getting it. I think they told her she was going to be there like 8 years or some shit. And then she ended up getting out. The embassy and all that, they got involved and they got the girl out and all. But I say all that to say is, everywhere ain't America. You don't have free speech everywhere. Okay, especially you a woman, you a black woman, you out there, you not you a foreigner and all this. So I don't know where she is. I really hope that she ain't in Dubai, but I mean, she could be, and maybe they trying to get her out or something, child. I don't know, but that's kind of scary. But we ain't seen her. We ain't seen her. Some people have said that they saw her on the streets of Dubai. But you know, that could just be rumored too. So I don't know, but you know, hopefully Onijah's gonna be okay out there. Y'all bring that lady home. I feel like there was some sort of mental issue there that we needed to bring old sis girl home. And she ain't back home yet, so I don't know what's going on with the story with Onijah. It almost has a feel of urban legend. Like, it feels like it's one of them stories that just continues to go on, and you know, people just continue to put something else onto it. But so I don't know, y'all. We'll see. But hopefully she's okay. Anybody out there in my New York rock stars, y'all know her? Any of y'all know what the whereabouts, how she doing? Y'all let us know. Let's move on to the next story. Actually, you guys, lastly in quickies, congratulations are in order to Cassie and her husband, Alexander Fine. Okay, they are infanticipating. This will be the third time around. She posted pictures of her and her, you know, various pictures of her and her children, her and her husband, her children, her husband, her stomach, you know, all this. They look very happy. I was like, I bet you are. With that big ass check that Puffy gave you, I guess she was like, baby, it's time for another one. Also, you guys, congratulations are in order to Wendy. We're going to say a happy birthday belatedly to her 94-year-old father. You guys know she was on Breakfast Club and she was crying about how she really wants to see her father and how her guardian was keeping her from seeing her father, who was down in Florida. Remember, they're keeping her in New York. But she really wanted to be there for his birthday, and we did see pictures of her with him for his birthday. Let me tell you guys something. Wendy looking good, child. Like Sky Santana said in my comments last week, I really am starting to believe that they kept that woman drunk so that they could take advantage of her. That's pretty much it. That way, if they kept her drunk, if they kept her on vaping, you know, then they could say that she has like this diagnosis that she, you know, swears that she does not have. It doesn't look like she has it anymore, because they're compared her diagnosis to Bruce Willis's diagnosis. And, you know, it breaks my heart to see Bruce Willis right now. And Wendy Williams is not in that state anymore. And I don't know if you get better. Like, if that's a diagnosis where you can actually flip it and turn out to get better. And we are looking at Wendy and seeing that she's getting better. Okay, maybe still not 100%, still not 100% able to take care of her finances, you know, fully, but definitely able to make some better decisions for herself now that she's sober. And maybe now that she's sober, she can see where people are taking advantage of her. Because if you high and fucked up all the time, you can't see nothing. All you know is keep giving me my shit and y'all do whatever you want to do over there. I ain't even paying attention because I'm high, I'm drunk, I'm asleep. Okay, so that looks like that's more of what was going on here. And that looks like that is somebody that's just getting taken advantage of by the system. And that's when you start thinking about like that movie. I can't think of the name of the movie, but we saw the movie on Netflix where they were taking advantage of the woman. Was it a woman or a man? You know, they were just trying to say, yeah, it was a woman that was in a nursing home and they were trying to take her money. You guys remember? That's the real basic of the story. I can't remember the name of it, but maybe you guys will. But yeah, glad to see that Wendy made it to see her father. And lastly, you guys, I know I said I was going to leave this alone. I was going to leave Drea and her young man alone, child, because, listen, the heart wants what it wants, and they ain't hurting nobody, and if that's who she going to be with, that's who she going to be with. But you guys, just please explain to me. She's 40, what? 40, 41, somewhere in there. I thought the boy was 23, turning 24. Do you know that boy just turned 23 years old on his birthday a few days ago? I was just like, I just don't know. You guys, 22 turning 23 is even younger than Jada. Ain't no fucking way I could be in a relationship with somebody who has the thinking process of my child. I just, it makes me wonder, like, what kind of person, unless maybe he's really, really mature. But I just can't imagine being 40-something, being with somebody that is 23 years fucking old. It's just crazy to me, but I'm going to leave it alone, y'all. I'm going to leave it alone. Old cradle stealing ass biatch. It's crazy to me, but anyway, that ain't my life. So y'all do what y'all do. But that's it on that, y'all. All right, y'all, I'm gonna get on back up in the front seat and drive back over to Chipotle and get me something to eat and then take it back to work, get this edited and up to you guys first thing Friday morning. We do this every single week. So make sure you thumbs up the video, comment, and subscribe, and make sure you come back. Until next time, Roxstars. Bye.